So in the last video, Copilot decided to mess everything up and revert all of our changes that we had been working on, and then it pushed the code out to or it made a commit, and then now we are trying to recover from its antsiness, I will say. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to try to revert my changes back. I am then going to try to understand why I was getting the error initially that I was trying to have Copilot solve, then try to solve these things myself. So let's make myself smaller. There we go. And open up a new one here. So we can go here and say agentic Copilot decided to make or delete the code I wrote. Oh no, but I didn't. Oh wait, no, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. The code that I wrote, now I don't know what state I am in. Okay. I want to revert the code back to the state that it was in immediately following branching from main. What is the git command that will add another commit on top of my current location, so I keep the history but will have my code go back to the state it was previously in. And then, okay, yeah, I can just do that. I can do git log here as well. Git log and then one line here. So we are here. So I think I want to go back to this one, right? Okay. Hey, yeah. Uh-huh. So like main is to use git restore. Tells git, look at the state of the main branch. Tells git to take those files, put them in both. Okay. After running this command, your files will look exactly like main, but my history is preserved. Now you can, or you just need to finish the undo. So see a list of modified files that represent the change. Okay. So git revert, interesting. Why this is better than git revert? Oh, is this the second one? Second option? Git revert versus git restore. Oh, they're two separate commands. Okay. Revert. I need to undo one specific commit at a time. If you have made 10 commits, git revert would be a headache. Acts like a snapshot, effectively making comes by uncommitted changes, returns you back to okay. Source mains. Okay. I might need to, when I do this, I think it's going to give me an error because I made changes here and it's going to be upset about that. So, here, okay. Then I need to commit, okay. So I can do git status here. Okay. So I think I need to do an add, right? And then should we make sure that this is actually what we want? So we have campaign here. Although this is not entirely what it should look like. Okay, this looks correct because this is the old way of doing it. This does not look correct. Campaign.cs. Okay. This looks correct. And where's ads here? This looks correct too. Okay, I'm gonna come here and do this. My campaigns.cs looks like it didn't change. Oh, okay. How to fix it? Okay. So here, and then do the exact same thing. Now campaign should be looking better, like here. Okay, awesome. So now I can do that. Oops, not you. Now I can do the commit. This one. Okay, do this. Reverting all changes to match main state due to copilot error. Okay. Okay, so now if I do the git log one line, let me see what we have here. Okay, and we still have that commit. Okay, all right, so now we have gotten back to our working state. I should be able to do like docker compose up like this. It should, oh no, I cannot do that. I need to recompile. Docker compose build. Okay. While that is doing, oh, I already have it up. Okay. Okay. Now I can do Docker compose up. Let it run its things. Okay. So I'll come here, refresh this page, and see if. All right. Let's wait for it to start up. Okay. There we go, and we get our ads. Yep. There we go. Okay, so we are back up and running again. Okay, so now what I want to do, instead of making changes by changes, I'm going to come here, back to this, and say, can you summarize all of the problems which I have been experiencing with the transition to vectorization? Uh, List the concepts which I have been struggling with and explain these concepts. I reverted my code completely to the previous state with no uh, with no yeah. Now I want to revisit the errors which I was tripping up with, understand the concepts, and then move forward. Summarize everything. Okay. Okay. While that's doing it, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. All right. Not just adding a column, it's teaching your entire application from the database driver to the dependency injection container. So there's a lot of things going on. So we need to change the database. We also need to inform the dependency injection container how to handle a completely new way of thinking about data. Okay. Here's a summary of the hurdles you faced, broken down by core concepts that caused them. The driver awareness problem. The database provider does not support vector mapping properties. Concept. Type mapping. Postgres does not natively know what a vector is. Okay? So Postgres it knows varchars and ints and floats and all this, but it doesn't know what a vector is. Okay, fine. It requires an extension, which is that thing that we were working with called PG vector, okay? Similarly, the C# driver, which is in PG SQL, doesn't know how to translate C#, float, or PG vector into that database unless I explicitly teach it, okay? What went wrong? You added the embedding property, but the design time tools, the ones that build migrations, couldn't see use vector instruction in program.cs. Okay. I added the embedding property, but the design time tools. What is a design time tool? The ones that build migrations. Okay. What is a design time tool? And what do you mean by build migrations? Okay. Couldn't see the use vector instruction. Couldn't see use vector instruction in program.cs. Why would they not? So, something which is build migrations, and I think that might be what I was doing with the one where I was saying whatever. What was I saying? Like EF entity framework, and then something something migrations, and I was trying to perform an action to like add a column to the SQL table. Okay, I think that was called migrations. So this thing that software or something is unable to was unable to see use vector instruction. So where was use vector instruction? That was in program.cs, right? We had it right up here, I believe. The fix. You need to tell DB context directly in its own setup on configuration that it should use the vector capability so that migration tools are aware of the type. Okay. So dependency injection, snake eating its tail. This is when I would try to query my data. I would try to query this, and when I would press enter, it would get no ads, and I would get errors here, which would be about, it was just circularly having like dependency to each other, I think. The error, long repetitive stack traces ending in stack overflow exception or recursion error. The concept, circular dependencies. This is a logical loop in how your objects are created. Okay. What went wrong? My campaign cache needed the appdb context. Okay. Campaign cache needed appdb context. Okay. And my appdb context, perhaps in an attempt to be smart, was trying to use a service that eventually pointed back to the cache. Okay. The analogy. It's like a rule saying to get a key, you must open the box. But the key is inside the box, okay? Yeah. Keep the appdb context clean. It should only depend on its options. Custom services like bid selector would sit on top of the appdb, never inside it. Bid selector. So here is appdb context, okay? This one as well. AppDB context, something here was depending on itself, and it had to have been that line that we added, right? Targeting rules, because this works right here. This has no problem. But then when we added those lines above here, it was very upset at us. Okay, so this one, your startup project doesn't reference Microsoft Entity Framework core design. So we were also trying to add references to our project, and then it didn't like the reference we were adding, and then we added another one, and so I was adding it to, I added two projects to two, or two references to two projects, and I was thinking, okay, well, right now I'm just doing randomly like add a .NET add and then a project, and so it's gonna make things even bigger and bloated. And I was like, okay, fine, we're gonna try to understand the concept a little bit more. So, the concept design tool or design time tooling. When you run .NET Entity Framework Migrations add, here we go, your app isn't actually running. Okay, the Entity Framework tool is just peeking at your code to see what the database should look like. So, what went wrong? The tool needs a specific hook, which is Entity Framework Design. To do this peeking. Additionally, because your project uses a shared library and BitEngine project, yeah, so there's two separate folders now. The tool got confused about which project was the boss, startup, and which was data project. The fix: install design package. Okay. Matching your version 9 and use explicit flags to tell the tool exactly where to look. Okay, so I think I did this startup in 2 locations, so maybe that's why it was upset at me. Semantic search versus relational search. This is fine. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is question number 1. Question number 2 is going to be, if I have my shared and my bid engine, which microservices, which one should I do the .NET add to? And how will that add to for the migration? Design. And how will that work with the migration command? Okay. So what is a design time tool? In .NET, we distinguish between runtime, when your app is actually running for users, and design time, when you, the developer, are building the app. Design time tools. .NET EF. These are specialized programs to peek into your code. This is design time, okay? Peek into my code while it's sitting on my hard drive. They don't run your whole project. Instead, they spin up a dummy version of your project just long enough to look at DB context and your classes, like ads. Now, ads is in the other folder, right? DB context and ads are in different locations. Building a migration. When you run migration add, the tool compares your current C# code to a snapshot, a hidden file that records your database. Okay. If you add public string description in C#, the tool sees the snapshot doesn't have it. It then builds a C# script, the migration file, that says alter table adds, add column. Okay, that makes sense. The multi-project problem. Okay, where to add. In a microservice or shared library setup, responsibility is split. This is why you were getting errors. The tool didn't know which project was the boss. Okay, the design package. You should add this Microsoft Entity Framework Core to my Bitengine, the startup project. Why? Yes, why? Why? The startup project is the one that knows how to connect to the database. It has the app setting.json and the program CS logic. Okay, the design tool needs to enter your app through the startup project and get configurations. Okay. App settings.json program CS logic. Because your app DB or your DB context is likely in your shared, but your settings are in Bitengine, you have to use flags to tell the tool exactly where everything is. Okay. Run from the root. Add, and then add description to ads, okay. Then project, source shared, okay. Startup project is source Bitengine. Puts the migration files inside the shared project. Uses the settings and dependencies from Bitengine to understand how to build them. Okay. So keep in shared. Okay. Run the migration command from the root. I'm gonna say actually add.cs class is a class inside of campaign.cs which is in my shared. Then appdb context here. And program.cs is in my bid engine project. Okay, so why you were hitting so many walls. In .NET, the way your projects are split changes how you have to talk to them to the entity framework tool. Here is how to do design, how the design time tool sees your specific structure and how to handle it. The blueprint contains campaign.cs and the add class inside of it. This project just defines the shape of your data. It doesn't know anything about the database, correct? The engine, bid engine, contains my appdb context and program.cs. This project is the boss. It knows the connection string and how to talk to Postgres. Okay, where to install the design package. Since appdb context and program CS are both in bid engine, that is where the design time work happens. So run this in the bid engine folder. Okay. You do not need to add this to the shared project. The migration command. Okay. So I'm going to take a second to think about what it just said. Okay. The migration command. Reset. Because your DB context is in the same project as program CS, the command is actually simpler than I previously described, provided you run it from bid engine. Okay, so I can do .NET entity framework migration add, and then this, but what does this section do here? Since you're inside bid engine, it finds the project and the DB context immediately. Okay, model discovery. It would look at your DB set campaigns inside of app DB context. It follows the reference to shared project to find campaign and add classes. Okay. You will likely hit that error again. The database provided does not support vector matching. Even though your code looks correct, the design time tool is essentially a guest. Your project, it does not always run. Okay. If the options haven't been set by program.cs, if you want to move forward with your reverted code, modify campaigns, add description and embedding properties, okay. Modify this, add configuration block above, ensure, okay. Yes. Alright, so let's go back to what we are doing? So I need to add this to my AppDB context. I know that. Okay. And we need to turn Copilot off. Okay, int t.property, and then e gets mapped to e dot embedding. Okay. Then has column name embedding. Okay. Has column type was the next one, like this, and we have vector like this. Okay. Like this. Okay. Now we need to add. Now I need to go into. Nope. And bid engine. Okay. And then I need to do the .NET add. And we want to add that project to it, right? Where's the project name? Okay. Like this, and then we do using. PG vector, this one. PG vector dot entity framework core, right? Yep. Okay. And then we also need to do something about this up here, the on model creating. And I need to go to ads, which is going to be in here, and I go to ads, which is here, and then I need to add those to add both of these to program.cs, right? Yep. Okay. And then we also need to do something more there. So let's do that to program.cs. So we have the connection string. Now we do this. We've already done this, so we can just copy and paste it, because we've already, like, I don't know what it's doing. We need to investigate it later, but I'm trying to get something that works right now. And then we need to change this to, instead of this connection string, we need that thing that we just built here, which is like data source. So data source right there. Okay. Data source. Now I need to do this for my campaign here. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and do this one. Actually, I'm gonna come here and do this like this. Okay, so public string description. Just copy it and paste all of that. Like that. And then this one we will do as well. Okay. Now this should have an error. Okay. So now I need to do the same thing here. So I'm going to go up a directory and then go into shared and then run this command. Okay. So this went away. This is still angry for some reason. Okay. But it was not angry in the last video. Why would that be? Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it will be fine. Okay. Do we make all of the changes which we need? No, we did not. We didn't go into the AppDB context. Well, we did a little bit, but we're okay. So here on configuring, yes. Okay. So now I can come in here and do model builder dot has Postgres extension. And then what do I pass in? Vector. Okay. On model creating, on configuring. Okay. This. Oh, let's see. Okay, and then actually tab this there. Okay. So now I go into my bid engine. Okay. Okay, project here. Did I do enter or what? Okay. And now I can do this, paste this in, and this needs quotes. Okay. Create the migration here. do update. Okay. Means sure doesn't know what column is. Okay. Yep. Campaign.cs here. I don't believe I didn't do this last time, but now it's happy. Okay, I'm okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No. I do not want. Oh, okay. This is adding a new thing. Okay. Create a new file in your BitEngine project called Design Time Factory. This is a small class that tells Entity Framework exactly how to build DB context when you're running migrations. Okay. Here is my current structure. Where should I put that? Inside of data. Okay. So I'm gonna do this here. Side of data here. Add a new file, which is this. Okay. Now copy and paste all of the. Wait, no. All of that. Okay. Ensure Onma explicitly defines. Okay. Say, here is my current app DB context. I added that extra file to it. Come here, and I might actually be able to do this again. But I still get an error. Why the factory might be getting skipped. Okay. Finds a valid way to instantiate. No, it doesn't like this one. Okay. Okay. Are they in the same namespace? Data. Data, yes. Now I've gotten right back into just trying to solve it. Man, this is just. Die. Okay, and now. Update app DB context to look exactly like this. App. So public class. DB context. I literally have no idea what I'm doing right now. Like, at all. My data set's on configuring. Is this what you want? Okay. Okay, so it doesn't work, essentially. This means that it doesn't work. Is that right? Like, it's just... Okay. So the migration is just broken. It's... Okay, fine. Okay. What is this ridiculous migration thing? Does it have a name? Can I see videos of this? How to use it? Okay, fine. Okay. Float. I don't like this here. I don't like doing this at all. Okay. .NET build. Okay. So I'm expecting that it fails. Yep. Okay, good. Maybe I can just forget about migrations. Should I just delete my data? So I don't think that this works at all. I don't believe in this tool. I do not believe in this whatever runtime tool. I think migration is horrible. I hate this migration tool. It's a terrible tool. The no more migration escape. Okay. Connect to my database and run this command. Delete. What I'm going to do is get status, okay. To use, what is this terrible tool called? Okay, I'm just trying to document what I did. To align new C# data columns with SQL database. This method did not work because migration tools were unable to perform. Okay. Like, what does that mean? I don't know, but I'm just doing that. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to get rid of this, okay? And we're going to get this back, okay? Like this. And I am going to now come in to this one, and I think we're just going to delete this. Okay. So we're going to .NET stop using this migration. That doesn't work. And I'm going to watch some YouTube videos and maybe it'll clarify things and then we'll be able to get it to work. But as of right now, I can't get it to work. Okay, so I think I am going to delete this. So we're going to delete you. Move to trash, okay. Then I am going to come into app context here. I'm going to delete this, all of this. Okay. There we go. And I am going to, on configuring, I'm going to delete you. Okay. We're going to keep this one. And we are going to keep this one. And then in program.cs, we're going to keep this. Okay. I'm sure database is ready without using. Okay. Okay, this is just wildly annoying. to interact with EF migration tools. Need to manually change SQL database myself. So what if I do okay. I want to make sure that we were able to get that, so I'm going to go to my data or my thing here, refresh the page, make sure that we got all that stuff. So we didn't do anything for, like, it's not counted today. Oh, I guess I could have done it from here. And why do I have A/B testing? Can I delete you? Go away. Customize my pens. A/B testing cert. No, we don't need that because I was just doing something that I was trying to. Oh look, someone starred this one. That's funny. Okay, was it myself? I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe I accidentally started it. But this one doesn't even make sense anymore because I was just like playing around trying to see stuff. Okay, anyways, there. Go here. So we definitely do not want to merge it into main. I do want to just see that it's here, right? Okay. Okay, we encountered a lot of issues today. We didn't get anything accomplished, but I at least know kind of where I'm trying to head. What I'm going to do is go and try to understand the migrations, try to understand, okay, I'm going to say, what are some other, I am going to take a break. What are some other YouTube or concepts I can look up on YouTube to understand what I am attempting to do better? Okay. With multiple projects, yeah. Vector databases and, okay, yeah, I need to look up vector databases and understand how to get that in SQL. How pgvector, okay, yep, I'm gonna look up pgvector. Domain driven design, Fluent API. This is specific. Yeah, I don't know what that one was doing. Manual SQL migrations. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a break and watch some YouTube videos, try to understand what's going on. Then maybe come back later today and see if I can make some progress on this project. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have, or if you enjoyed it, subscribe. I would love to have you around for the journey. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I'll see you guys soon.